Imagine a noble, elegant, picturesque life in poverty that you might find in a soap opera. No matter how poor you are, it doesn't discourage you from showing unconditional love for strangers. Even a piece of bread is shared with a warm smile. If anyone claimed that such an idealistic illusion existed in the real world, Hyun would beat him to a pulp. Life was far too cruel to the poor. The labor welfare law revised by Parliament made all jobs unavailable to minors. Although illegal, Hyun had worked in every kind of trade imaginable. From the age of 14, he began sewing in a factory. His salary was meager, but he could eat for free. However, underground, with only 2 ventilation fans running, his health deteriorated. Thanks to his damaged lungs, he accrued heavy medical bills. Then, he got a job at a gas station, and occasionally, he even went around pulling a handcart, collecting and selling recyclables. But no matter how hard he had worked, the money left in his pocket was chump change. As a minor, his only choice was to work jobs illegally. His employers used this fact to mercilessly work him to the bone. Hyun lived this life of exploitation until he was 20 years old. He knew the value of money very well. However, things will change now. He is finally an adult, and with it comes an ID card allowing him to work legally. I have to work until my body breaks down. I should be able to deal with 3 jobs a day. As a kid, his parents died, and his family now consisted of only his grandmother and sister. All right, from now on, we'll become rich. Hyun pledged to do so and returned home. Welcome back. Hyun was greeted by his grandmother. After falling down the stairs a few days ago, she got a dislocated hip, rendering her unable to go to work. Although taking medicine with the household struggling, she could not go to the hospital to receive proper treatment, and thus could only rest at home. Without receiving proper treatment every night, she could only groan painfully. Whenever Hyun entered the house, he felt suffocated. It was a lifeless home with his aloof little sister and sickly grandmother. Even if he didn't know it, it was probably why he disliked coming home even more. Where's Yeon? I have no idea. She went out and didn't return. She might be hanging around with the bad crowd again, not sure. Yeon was his little sister. He had not seen her very often lately. It's going to be okay. What could happen? You are her one and only brother. A brother should protect his little sister. Yes. Hyun smiled wryly and went to his room. He wanted to send his little sister to college even if he was forced into hard physical labor or driving a taxi. She had been drifting off the rails for a while now, but she was bright and intelligent. Unlike Hyun, he believed that in college she would meet a good husband and be able to live well. He also wanted to repay his old and ailing grandma for all she sacrificed to raise Hyun and Yeon. Right, I'll look for work tomorrow. There will probably be an employment test as well. Hyun muttered as he turned on his computer. The old computer buzzed to life. As soon as it connected to the internet, he accessed Continent of Magic, a classic game released 20 years ago. It was an online game that once created a frenzy among gamers all over South Korea. That game remained at the pinnacle until just 3 years ago. Hyun's antiquated computer, assembled by combining parts from various sources, could not handle most games. Only Continent of Magic ran smoothly. It was the first game he'd ever played, but it was the only game he enjoyed. Hyun's playing style was very peculiar. He did not associate with the people around him and hunted all day. After killing monsters and raising his level, he headed to more challenging hunting grounds. He did not participate in sieges or guild wars at all. He enjoyed the game simply by gradually improving his character's abilities and upgrading equipment. He once hunted for 200 hours straight without catching a wink of sleep. It wasn't unusual for him to struggle to raise just one level or to capture a single monster for a month. Some might question how this could be fun for him. Still, it was fun for him to watch his character grow stronger. He was delighted when he finally defeated monsters he was previously unable to. In a very short time, Hyun had reached the highest level. He had attained the ultimate state where levels no longer rose. In the decades of Continent of Magic, it was the first and last record in history. When Hyun looked back, he found none who could rival his character in supremacy. He single-handedly wiped out all the monsters in hunting grounds where others struggled as a party. After climbing to the highest level, he hunted all the ultimate monsters, including dragons, by himself. However, Hyun has lost all interest. Nowadays, with technological advances, the ultimate goal of every game is to equip itself with a virtual reality system. Royal Road, a splendid game called the standard for virtual reality. Beginning with a fully implemented world, the game contained tens of thousands of races and users, tens of thousands of jobs, and hundreds of thousands of skills. You could enjoy adventure as you desire, or even go sea fishing with friends for days, as long as you don't encounter whimsical typhoons, of course. The freedom within the game was impressive, but above all else was the game's innovative system. Royal Road had the reputation of inducing the ultimate fun a human could enjoy in a game. Well, for me, that's all just a pie in the sky. What could Lee Hyun expect from a computer slowed down by a slightly more complex web page? Popular as it was, to install the equipment that realized virtual reality would cost over 10,000 won. If Lee Hyun had that kind of money, under any circumstances, his grandma's medical bills would take priority. Otherwise, it would go to his little sister's college tuition. And now to diligently earn money, his days of gaming had to end. Are you sure you want to delete your account? Yes. No, Lee Hyun brought the mouse cursor over. Yes. Now, with a single click of the mouse, the treasured character he raised would disappear forever. To be continued.